So I'm gonna kick it off. Yo, welcome to the first ever Not the Experts NBA playoff extravaganza. Woo! Hold on, let me get my theme music. Let me get the theme music, y'all. I'm sorry. Only the real know this. That's right. Gotta throw it back to NBC. Today, I am Titus, your host. We got my co-host, Georgia boy, Bavaria Parks propaganda, Levi Evans in the building. In the bottom corner, we got my man, New York man, France in the building. He is a New York raised Lakers and Cowboys fan. Also, we got my boy. He's not from the DMV, but it's close enough. Baltimore Q, the Celtics fan. And yeah, so we're gonna talk about this first round of these playoffs that we got coming on. We're gonna get crazy with it. We're gonna get it going today. First round starts tomorrow night, so it'll be today when this comes out. Should be today when this comes out. So yeah, here's how we're gonna do this today. All right, here's how we're gonna do this. That song is so dope. I love that song.
It really is.
Somebody needs about a license. Q, did you know that song? Because you're like 12. Did you know that song?
Yeah, I'm not 12, bro.
You're close enough. Were you aware of that song?
I don't like my intro, man. I feel like he was trying to throw a little sub that I'm from New York. I was born in Dominican Republic. Just want to put that out.
I didn't say you were born in New York. That's why I said raised in New York. And you're a Lakers and Cowboys fan. So I was just pointing that part out.
Ooh, how does that work out? That dynamic.
The Lakers,
Eagles.
The Lakers. This is tied down. My father, my grandfather, all my uncles are all Lakers fans. So that's in the blood.
Okay. Well, how does the friendship dynamic work between you and Titus?
It's not that deep because I'm more.
Yeah, I think I'm so sorry that it really didn't matter last year.
Yeah,
I'm more of a casual football fan. So like, I became a fan. Like I watched Dak in college. And I was like, yo, I love this guy. And then when he went to Dallas, I was like, that's it. I'm following Dak the rest of his career. I love.
Wait,
Dak.
That's when it happened? Okay, I didn't know that. I thought it was one of the things because you Lakers and Cowboys fans have crossed over for no reason. It don't make no sense. You have to be fans of both.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, Q, did you like your intro?
Yeah, I'm cool with that. And then me and Titus don't clash at all on the football front because I'm a Colts fan.
Take care.
So
of my
there's no reason at all for him an Eagles fan and me a Colts fan have any issues.
Yeah.
Except for when Wentz takes y'all to like 3 Super Bowls.
3 is a lot.
Yeah, that was a reach.
But I understand. But yeah. So we here, man. We're gonna hit this first round. So basically, I hit all you up individually. I told y'all I did a little mini survey to see what games we were most interested in this playoff. Everybody followed instructions except for France. So France, did you go last today because you didn't follow instructions?
Oh, you wanted me to send it to you?
Yes.
I thought you wanted it as notes. I'm sorry. Oh, no, I got it written down though.
Oh, okay. Well, too late now. I got the numbers. The numbers already been crunched. So I compiled a poll. We took the scores of what matchups we were most interested in. We had a tie at the 1 and 2 spots. We had top of the first spot. A tie between the Clippers and Mavericks and the Suns and the Lakers. Which one y'all want to start with?
Well, I guess it depends on which one France found more interesting, right?
I guess so.
Yeah. I got more interesting. We got to talk about the Clippers and the Mavs, man.
Let's get to it. Levi, I'm gonna pass it off to you.
Oh,
we talked about on the show Monday.
Mm-hmm.
The Clippers ducked to get to they made sure they didn't play the Lakers, didn't wind up near the Lakers, and then wound up with the team they played last year in the playoffs that they beat in 5. Or was it 5 or 6? It was 6, right? 6 games last year.
Yeah.
But there was turmoil amongst the organization, mental problems for playoff P. People didn't like each other. People got called bleep white boys. A lot of things were said in that series last year. So Levi, will the Clippers come out this series and do better against the Mavericks?
Yeah, because they have to. Their whole entire existence and any dignity they have as a organization all lies on this playoff round right here. So yeah, I mean, I have the Clippers winning this just because they can't afford not to lose this. They're way more desperate.
Okay. Who's your X factor in this series?
Well, can I say I'm going to go with a Dallas player, even though I think the Clippers are going to win. I think Dallas can pull it off because I really like Tim Hardaway Jr. If Tim Hardaway Jr. just keeps going off and he can be that second man to Luka, because, I mean, really all they got to do is swallow up Luka, and it's pretty easy coasting for the Clippers. But if Tim Hardaway Jr. could be that true X factor, then they can really give them troubles.
Okay. France, you have said Luka is the best Euro in the league. I'm exposing your text messages. I'm exposing you for this. You torture me with Luka. You are the biggest Luka fan that I know. What will Luka do in this series? Can he lead Dallas past the Clippers?
Look, man, it's no surprise. I am a Luka stan. Honestly, as much as Luka stan I want to see him overcome this obstacle. And I kind of feel like last year, like there was a puncher's chance away from it. That game 1 was pretty close. KP got ejected. He had that legendary game 4. You know what I'm saying? That's in his history forever. You know what I'm saying? I can see him averaging a triple double, 30-point triple double. It's really on KP. I was gonna say Tim Hardaway, but to switch it up a little bit, because I could see Tim Hardaway averaging 20 points, always being open if he hits all the shots. But KP, man, he's a major offensive impact. He kind of was killing the Clippers last year. He still leaves a lot of questions out to be open with the defense. And although I'm talking about everything the Mavericks could do to win, I can't not deny the fact the Clippers are a better team than they were last year. So,
facts. Q.
It's hard.
What's your take?
I think the main thing for me is that I don't feel as threatened by the Mavericks as I felt threatened by them last year in the playoffs. I think that's the biggest thing for me. So while a healthy Kristaps Porzingis is an important thing for this series, if he stays healthy and there's no injury, no crazy getting ejected in the suspension, as long as we get none of that, then he should be impactful, right? But I also don't think the Mavericks are as good as they were last year. And I also feel like the Clippers have been a sleeping giant the entire season. And Paul George has shot like 46, 47% from 3 the entire season. Legitimately, maybe the best season of Paul George's career, at least on the offensive end. And it might be kind of a cop-out because he's the star player. But if we can get Paul George at this level of production throughout the entire playoffs, it might not even have mattered if they ducked the Lakers, because if Paul George is producing on that level, then they're a problem for anybody that's in the playoffs right now. So I have Clippers. I have the Clippers in 5 or 6, because I do think that Dallas can take a game. It's Luka that we're talking about here, and KP is dangerous. But if Paul George is hitting his regular season capacity, then he is the biggest performer in this series.
Yeah, that's the thing with the Clippers this year, right? It's like last year last year was the hype year. This year is the comeback from the collapse. But they've also managed to be able to be quiet this year. There's another team like this that we're going to talk about later, to me, where it's like you don't have the hype you had last year. You just got to go out. It's about going out and performing this year. It's not about trying to do no legacy stuff. You got to go perform for you this year. And I feel like they're in that place. It's kind of weird how they've been able to stay quiet this year. They've been able to just kind of, coast around silently, which makes them scarier for me, because like they don't have that interior. They know what they got to go do. They've been quiet, ain't been a lot of barking this year. It's like they know what the mission is, they know what the job is, know what they got to go do. Now, I do think this series is still tricky for them, just because I don't know if they can match up with Luka per se. Like Luka cooked them last year by himself. You know what I'm saying? Even with Kawhi and Paul George being out there. The question for me with Kawhi is always, when we get to these playoff situations, how well does he hold up? Because he fades he starts laboring towards the end of the series. Like just that quad, that permanent injury, you can see it start coming back up on him in these playoffs. So I just wonder how much he'll be able to manage that. Paul George is the wild fact, is the X factor for me for sure, because if Paul is cooking, then there's nothing we can do about it. But I've seen Paul get cooked by Joe Ingles before. I've witnessed it. It was sad. It hurt my soul. We've seen the bad Paul George in the playoffs. I've seen the side of the backboard last year. It's just about what mindset he's in. And if he's focused, and I think Ty Lue is a good coach for this type of team. I just think this type of team Ty Lue coaches. Ty Lue is great at adjustments in game, adjustments in between series. But I do think the build-up of this team makes this Maverick series tricky for me, just because of the way they're built. I think if they would have got, like, let's say the Trailblazers or something like that, I would have taken them in maybe 5. Because I think they're just built to beat the Blazers, the way they're set up with 2 big wings against a team with 2 small lead guards. I think that's some matchup that's much better for them. But I think the Clippers are going to pull this out. But I think it'll probably be in like 5 or 6. I think Luka's going to get it. If Luka got 2 last year off of him, I can't say he's not going to get one off of him this year. You know what I mean? I think Luka's getting one. The question is, Luka get ejected this series? That's my question. Luka been out here getting all the texts this year. He's a tech happy boy. That's my question. So I think we all got Clippers in 5 or 6, basically. That's what it seems like.
Yes.
All right.
Can I
I'll give the Mavs 1.
Yeah,
so 5.
I got one question for all of you. If there was a prop bet right now, right, plus 1,000, for Luka to hit a game winner in this series. Doesn't have to win the series, just hit one game winning shot in any of the games of the series. Y'all taking that bet?
I'm taking it immediately.
Yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah,
I'm definitely taking it.
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure, I'm taking that.
Taking that bet.
I'm definitely on that bet for sure. All right, well, let's move on to the next series or the next matchup. Suns and Lakers, guys. The Suns fought so hard. They did an incredible bounce back performance from last year. Monty Williams, coach of the year. They came back. They got Chris Paul. I think we all kind of thought they'd be like a 4 or 5 with Chris Paul. They said, no. We fighting for the top, the tippity top. That's what we going for right now. They came out. Devin Booker's ascension is nice. DeAndre Ayton's benefited from playing with Chris Paul like every center in the history of basketball has.
Mm-hmm.
And they are here, and they're here for the first time in the playoffs, and they're here to send a message. They got the Lakers. They drew the Lakers first. You know, they said they want to treat them like a 7 seed. I mean, they didn't say that per se, but I imagine that's what they're saying in the locker room. They're a 7 seed. We're gonna treat them like a 7 seed. That's what I think they're saying. But they drew the toughest matchup out of anyone in the playoffs because the Lakers team, if they're healthy, which they look a little shaky to me in the Warriors game. Defensively, they are a nightmare for anybody. But this is a tough series. It's a tough draw for the Suns. Are they going to be one and done? Q, I'm passing it to you. Are the Suns going to be one and done?
I believe in the Suns. I believe in the Suns this year. Look, I get it. This is why I had this as my most interesting, right? We're talking about the defending champions, and the only reason they're at 7 is because of injuries, right? Okay. But the Suns, even if the Lakers were healthy, you know, let's just assume that the Lakers have a healthy season. We're still talking about a top 3 team in the West, even if the Lakers are healthy. So to me, I look at the Suns, and I've watched, oddly enough, because like every time with League Pass, Suns are always one of my most watched teams. I have like the Suns, Hawks, and Kings. Don't ask me why I watch them so much, but I watch a lot of them. I watch them every year, and the Suns last year before Chris Paul, people talk about the hot streak that they had in the bubble, but that team missed DeAndre Ayton for 25 games and had other injuries throughout the roster, and that team was still really good and in playoff contention. There's something there. There's a magic there. There's a belief in the system there. There's a belief in the culture there that the Suns have, and if we're seeing LeBron, he looked kind of iffy versus the Warriors. AD, his presence is always going to be important, but defensively, I thought he had his off moments against the Warriors too. I believe in the Suns. I believe in Devin Booker in the big moments. I believe in the Chris Paul pick and roll. I think DeAndre Ayton is a competent enough center as to where Chris Paul in any matchup can exploit that. I think that the 3-point shooting is very good and is going to continue to be very good. If they're up against a rusty Laker team that's had those injuries, and and the Lakers just assume they can turn it on for the playoffs, I'm not sure I believe that. So I'm gonna go Chris Paul here. He's facing his banana boat buddy. He's facing LeBron James in a playoff series for the first time in his career. This is a big moment for Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul is going to show up. I think DeAndre Ayton is probably one of the best bigs that he's had so far, and that pick and roll connection is going to be key here for this series.
I like it. We coming out the gates. We getting he said the Lakers are a 7 seed and they will remain a 7 seed.
Yeah,
7 seed behavior. I like it.
The first round exit, I think, of LeBron's career.
That's crazy. That's really crazy. But yeah, that's something I noticed with the Lakers. Lakers didn't seem offensively. They did not seem like an in-sync unit. Defensively, they were fine. They forced 17 steals in that game against the Warriors. But I did see some things offensively that I didn't like. Now the Suns' inexperience does speak to me. It's like the only man who's really been here for real is Chris. That's it, and it's kind of scary. But that's a general that you want. If Chris Paul is the one leading me in the playoffs, I want that. You know. I kind of want that. You see what he did with Thunder last year. He managed to get them, had them going to 7 last year in that first round. This is a better team than that Thunder team for sure last year. But the inexperience of the Suns does speak to me. Levi, what do you think?
So I've been really back and forth on this, but I really do like the Suns as well. I'm gonna ride with them. Kind of go off the same theme as my pick on the Clippers. I think the Suns want it more and they need it more. A couple of years ago, Devin Booker was the laughing stock of the NBA because he said, "Oh, we're going to turn Phoenix into a free agent destination." And so I think he wants to Chris Paul really wants it. And I think this would be a really good cap. I mean, it wouldn't be absolute cap, but we're just putting the top on a little bit, keeping it loose if we want to sip from it later. But it'll be a nice little cap to his career to have this under his belt. I think the X factor is going to be Jay Crowder, because that dude can guard anybody. Like, you can switch him up, and then you match up really well too with Bridges against James. So you kind of have that choice. You can put Crowder on Davis, or you can put Crowder on LeBron. So I've got him being the X factor. I just like how athletic they are too, and their backcourt matches is better. You got Devin Booker, he's better than KCP. You got Chris Paul, he's more efficient, better than Schroeder. So I think those two, they're going to expose them. And I think Ayton, Crowder, and Bridges are enough to, keep up with LeBron, Drummond, and Davis.
You chose Drummond. About Marc Gasol, huh? He's going to throw not mention
Marc Gasol. I forgot about him. I think we've all forgotten about Marc Gasol. I think his teammates, or he thinks that about his teammates too. So
yeah, one thing with the Lakers that I do like is Frank Vogel will play whoever's the best for that matchup. Like, Frank is not sold on any lineup. So if somebody's not working, he's going to take them out. And that's the thing. They got 3 options at center. I mean, if they don't put AD at the 5, they can put Harrell in. They can put they can go Harrell. They can go Drummond if Drummond's cooking. that was funny. They can go Gasol if need be. I think Gasol's IQ is going to be very important in these playoffs, man. Gasol has a high basketball IQ, especially defensively. So I think he might be a very good X factor for them. But yeah, France, what do you think on the series? The Lakers fan. Right now we got the underdog Lakers in the building right now. I'll let LeBron see this. They said we couldn't do it. # Watch King. # Watch Lakers. # 7 seed.
The last time the Suns were in the playoffs was 11 years ago, and it was actually against the Lakers in the conference finals against Kobe. So the Suns and the Lakers have a little history here. My predictions, look, of course I'm a homer, right? I'm going to go with the Lakers, but I do think the Suns are going to win the first game, and it's going to be a drastic, like, oh my God, it's over for the Lakers. Like, that's going to happen. I think the biggest X factor, not so much as a player, but just the Lakers' chemistry. That Warriors game did not make me feel confident at all. You know what I mean? Yeah. But a few things from that Warriors game that I took away was like how much defense they were able to put on Steph. He still got 30+ points. He's an amazing player, but not everybody's Steph Curry. So will Devin Booker be able to produce like Steph with that much pressure? I don't think so. I've seen Chris Paul in a lot of playoff series where it just kind of flames out. It doesn't deliver. This postseason shortcomings are there. It doesn't really get talked about a lot. Even last year, even though OKC overachieved, they still lost that series that they could have won. They were in the lead for. I just want to see LeBron looking like LeBron again. You know what I'm saying? It's going to take some time. I would like to see Marc Gasol get more minutes. He's a guy that like knows how to pick his spots defensively and just knows how to like play that smart basketball. Like, he's not physical like he used to be. He's not gonna hit as much shots or get as much time, but he knows how to get himself in the right position. And I think that's gonna really make a difference if you got like AD and him out there, or you need a quick stop, or you need some clamps. Like, so.
Yeah, on that Marc Gasol point, like, let's not forget, he's nowhere near the athlete Joel Embiid is, and he was giving Joel Embiid the work a couple years ago. The work in the playoffs. My man's had to go cry. You know what I'm saying? It was Kawhi's fault, but man, he was giving, like, it was not an easy time for Joel Embiid at all. You know what I'm saying? It was not an easy situation with him dealing with Marc Gasol. So yeah, I think, France, I'm with you. I think the defense Lakers play is going to be huge, and I think this being Devin Booker's first time in the playoffs, the offensive production is going to be a different animal when he sees that playoff defense for the first time, and you see a team for 7 games looking at nobody but you. They're like, hey, you come here. Like, it's gonna be a different experience. This being his first time, I think he's gonna have his growing pains. I think he might have a big game. I think game 1 for sure. I think they get game 1 because it's gonna be they disrespecting us win. You know what I'm saying? Look at the odds. They disrespecting us. Let's go get them. They win game 1. And that's weird. LeBron in game 1s, it's like he just be there. You know,
he's down to fill the series out. He has no problem. He's like, I'll give one up. I'd rather give this one up than the rest.
Exactly. Know? It's like a fighter it's like Aaron Silva in his prime. Like, Aaron Silva come out that first round, dance around a little bit. He might get you if you come at him, but he ain't really looking for it. Second round, that's when it gets, like, the next game is when it gets bad for you. You know what I mean? I think it's how LeBron's at series. And I think that the Suns are gonna fight really hard. I think the Suns are gonna be in every single game, but I think they're gonna end up losing this series just because the inexperience. Chris Paul is there, like I say, he's experienced, but I think AD, I think DeAndre Ayton's in for a wake up call where it's like, we looking at you for 7 games, bro. AD is looking at you 7 games in a row. AD, whatever center they play, is looking at you 7 games in a row, bro. What you want to do about that? I think it's gonna be a wake up call for the Suns, but I think it's good for them going forward next year. When they all hate Chris Paul because Chris Paul, it's always nice year 1, year 2, it's always everybody hates him. So I think next year they'll be better off in the same position. But winning 50 games is nothing to laugh at. So I think even if they lose the series, I think they do lose in maybe 6. I think the Lakers get together a little late. The Lakers chemistry is a problem. The health is an issue that I am concerned with, which is why I think it'll be 6 games. I'm not like saying it like, oh, they're gonna smash them. I think it's gonna be a tough series, and it's gonna be a rough one.
The Lakers, though, I will say this: they got the luck of somebody that's inexperienced like the Suns, besides Chris Paul,
right?
And they'll play the winner of the Blazers or the Nuggets, which is like they definitely match up well with those two teams.
Yeah.
I don't overrate regular season wins too much, but that win without LeBron and AD towards the end of the season against a full roster of the Suns, like they kind of stand out to me. Lets me know how much better AD is over Ayton, and for the first time in 30 years, a 7th seed is a favorite against the 2nd seed. That shit is crazy.
That's really crazy. That's really wild. All right, any final thoughts on this series from anybody?
No, I just can't imagine this series going. It's gonna be competitive. Like this is the one where I can't imagine a single blowout, decisive kind of maybe one, but this is one that I imagine going to 7.
Yeah.
I believe 7 as well. I mean, it's really a coin toss for me. I can see it going either way. I just like the youth of the Suns over the decrepit. It seems like decrepit Lakers.
Decrepit is crazy. I do think one thing to look at for the Lakers that is kind of scary, on top of the chemistry problems, is there's people on that team in the contract year, and they're gonna be trying to get paid. So are they gonna be focused on playing within the team, or are they gonna be focused trying to get the money? Dennis Schroeder. Trying to get paid this offseason.
The counter is I don't know if Phoenix shrinks their lineup. They're kind of deep. I know the Lakers are definitely going to shrink their lineup, but Phoenix might throw 10 guys out there.
That's a good point. Yeah. So with that being said, we'll go on to the next series. We have this is the toxic series right here. The takes is gonna be flying, boy. We got the Bucks and the Heat. Milwaukee Bucks and the Heat, boy. So much is on the line here. The 2-time MVP Giannis facing the team that embarrassed, humiliated, destroyed him last season in the bubble. You know what I'm saying? Tyler Hero exploded onto the scene last year on these boys. Jimmy Butler was out here taking everybody's lunch, taking their souls. They was out here like, oh, you think you're gonna win today? Watch this. Jimmy outscored the whole team in a quarter one time. The Bucks got a lot to prove. Budenholzer's job is literally on the line in this series. The Bucks said we are not changing positions. We are not ducking nobody. We want the smoke. We want the smoke. They went out there, won that last game, made sure they stayed in their position. They did what they needed to do. They are here, the 3 seed versus the 6 seed Miami Heat. Levi, let's start with you. Bucks, Heat. Where do you stand in the series?
Keeping with the theme of who's got the fire in the belly, who's hungrier, who wants it more, it's the Bucks, because we got to fire the whole entire city of Milwaukee if they do not win this series. It's all eyes on them. They have no choice. They have to win it. If not, everybody's getting fired. Keep it simple.
That's a fact. Will Giannis's MVPs be repossessioned if they lose?
Yes. Yeah, take them. I want you to bring a tow truck to his house too. Make a big scene out of it. Put the chains on the trophies.
Yo, I am excited. This is my favorite series in the East. Jimmy Butler is actually better this season than what he was last year. Across the board, his numbers, his production, his defense, everything. And I'm like, yo, why nobody talk about how much better, not much better, but like how much more efficient Jimmy's playing, how much more like with presence and assertiveness and like the team's win-loss ratio when he's not on the floor because he missed a lot of games. That's why he wasn't even an all-star. Like that team is a different team. On the flip side, Giannis is another guy who sneakily got better this season too. Nobody talks about it. In fact, he's a top 3 MVP. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, man. It's a war, blows to be thrown, but Drew Holiday's the X factor. I think Drew Holiday will contain anything that he try to throw, whether it's my man Hero going ham. I love that kid, you know what I'm saying? He's gonna let Jimmy know, take it easy, Jimmy. We're not going for all that today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think it's about time Giannis has one of those like I'm here, don't fuck with me kind of games.
For sure. And that's one thing. The Drew Holiday thing is a big deal to me because it's like when you look at that's somebody Miami wanted to get too. Maybe wanted to get on the Holiday thing, and they just didn't have anything. They just didn't have access to get him because Holiday is that type of player. He's that type of dog. Everybody knows that's a dog. If you got Holiday on the court, it's gonna be a problem for you. The man took the soul of Dame and CJ to a few years ago. Let's not forget this. Embarrass the Trailblazers. Q, throwing it to you, man. What do you think about this beautiful toxic series in the Eastern Conference?
Like France said, Giannis is still putting up these amazing, incredible regular season numbers. He might even be getting a little bit better, but none of it matters if we go into another playoff series and he loses again to the team that completely emasculated the Bucks in the playoffs last year. It doesn't matter, right? So this is what makes this interesting. The Heat lose Jay Crowder, a really big cog in their system last year when he got traded to them.
Right. He was lights out in the bubble. He was lights out.
Incredible, right? Amazing defense, lights out shooting. So I think losing someone like him when it comes to the stopping Giannis approach will matter. But you fill that in with Precious. And Precious is a really versatile, really strong force to put into that mix too. So it's almost like I still think Jay's shooting or missing Jay's shooting will matter here for them. But in terms of a team that's still meant to stop Giannis, they plug that hole with someone that's just as good to fill that. And that's what makes this Heat matchup so scary for the Bucks. I was gonna go with Drew until France picked him, so I'm gonna go Precious here. I think that he's someone that has that versatility. He's big, he's strong. So whether it's your Brook Lopez's, a Giannis, he can body up a Chris Middleton, whoever else they want to try to throw into that low post mid range game. He is there. He's strong, and I think I have the Heat taking this again. I think no matter how much I want to see Giannis win, this team is still built to stop Giannis more than any team, more than anywhere else. And that's why this is such a crazy draw, but I respect the Bucks for how much they wanted to see it happen. This team, more than the Sixers, more than the Lakers, more than the Clippers, Suns, Jazz, whoever, they are equipped to stop specifically Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's it. And I can't discredit that. And I still Heat in 6.
Heat in 6. Levi, you have something?
Yeah, well, I want to back up Q for a second. I didn't even think about Achua, but you also got to think about too somebody. If I had to pick an X factor for the Heat, Trevor Ariza as well, because I think he could do a good job. Well, I don't know. I know he's gotten older, and I really haven't seen much of him this year, so I don't know if he's the same type of player defensively, how aggressive he plays. But if he is still sort of that same guy, that's another guy you can throw into the rotation of a body to go up against Giannis. But for my X factor, because I didn't throw that in, I think for the Bucks it's going to be Brook Lopez and him being able to spread the court out more, let Giannis drive, and then you can dish it out to Brook and keep that defense honest really with Miami.
Right. Yeah, I think this series for the Bucks is going to come down to, because they didn't focus on the regular season much this year. They were not focused on winning a bunch of regular season games. They're focused on trying some new things, which is a big step for Bud. He hadn't done that ever in his life. They're focused on trying to do some different things, put in different spots. They don't focus on Giannis having to bring the ball up the court every time, which is why the Heat's defense is able to do what it does. Like, okay, you're going to have Giannis bring the ball up the court, and then what's going to happen? Who else going to dribble? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay, come on in here, bro. Like, and then you can't do anything. I think them having somebody like IQ, the thing the Heat have more than anything else is high IQ players, right? Ariza's a high IQ player. They build high IQ players. Butler's a high IQ player. But the Bucks, Dry's a high IQ player. Adebayo's getting there. Iguodala's still there, which he's not physically that good, but his smarts in the playoffs is scary to me all the time because I've seen so many things with Iguodala in the playoffs. It's like, he knows what's going on. Mm-hmm. But I think the Bucks, this is the Bucks Detroit Pistons, dog. When Jordan had the Pistons, the bad boys going at him all the time, he couldn't ascend until he took them out the game. If the Bucks take these boys out the game, that is going to be the biggest weight off their shoulders. Every series is going to feel like light work to them after that. It's like, okay, cool. We got past that hurdle. Let's focus on what we need to do now. This is their biggest challenge. This is their biggest, like you said, this is the team built to stop them specifically. Like, this is what they do. This is what they wanted to do. This is why people thought Giannis was going to go there. Then Giannis resigned to stay with y'all to shut all that noise up. There's a lot on the line here. I think X factor for them is. I think the X factor for the Bucks. I'm going off board here. I was 22 people, but I'm going off board. Eric Bledsoe not being on the team is a big X factor. Not having to put Eric Bledsoe on the basketball court if you're the Milwaukee Bucks is such a huge deal for them.
That's funny, but it's like, yes, like having Drew Holiday instead of Eric Bledsoe, who will sit there and go like 4 for 18, and then won't be that good on defense. Yeah, as long as Drew is there on defense, hey, like, all right, that's better.
Right. I think the built way. I think they have ways to attack the Heat better than they did last year. I think you can take the ball out of Giannis' hands, move him around a little bit more, which is gonna be good because Adebayo, to me, Adebayo is kind of the perfect defender next to like AD to kind of just if you want to throw somebody at Giannis, I think Adebayo is a great person to throw at Giannis. I think it's going to be a very difficult matchup. So you want to move Giannis around and give him some room to move around. The key is in series adjustments because I think the Bucks are going to smack the Heat up and around in game 1. I think they're going to beat the brakes off the Heat in game 1. Game 2, when Spoelstra starts doing something a little different, what's Bud going to do when that happens? What's the team going to do when that happens? Like if they get smacked, how are they going to react if they get smacked back? Because they got smacked last year and they folded when they got smacked. So if they get smacked this year, how are they gonna recover from that? That's really a key for me. But I think it's time for the Bucks to ascend. I think it's time. This is gonna be a grown man series for the Bucks. I'm gonna take Bucks in. I'm gonna say Bucks in 5. Let's go. I'm gonna say Bucks in 5. I think the Bucks are gonna come out here. I think the Bucks will do what they need to do this series. This is the grown man series. Giannis about to have a second kid. It's time, it's grown man time. You know what I'm saying? 2 MVPs, 2 kids.
I want to point this. I want to point this out too. Miami, for as much as we saw them knocking the lights out in the bubble, they're only the 19th ranked 3-point shooting team in the league this year.
Yeah,
and that defense is a killer, right? All these strong wing presences, the versatility, that's going to be a huge hurdle. But if Tyler Hero and Duncan Robinson and those shooters aren't as good as they were in the bubble, which we have seen this year, that definitely does matter too. I'm gonna keep an eye on that.
Yeah, and that's another aspect, right? Last year the Heat has people that could surprise you. Duncan Robinson ain't surprising nobody anymore. Tyler's not surprising anybody anymore. It's like, okay, I know what you do, so do it now. We're looking at it. Now we know you're gonna do it, so come on. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a surprise factor.
Is anybody sad that Oladipo's not gonna be a part of this series? Because I really would have loved it if he was around for this.
Oh, if Oladipo's in this series, I low-key might have if like healthy Oladipo's in the series, I might have the Heat in like 6. I'm gonna be honest.
Like, I don't think he's coming back, but he makes a big difference too. Like,
right.
That's also why I want to pick the Bucks as well, because like Drew over Bledsoe, and like, man, I don't have Victor. I'm like,
right. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Bucks. So we have 2 Bucks, 2 Heat that we got.
I want to point out though, I picked the Heat last year. Me and Ty,
you had Heat going to the finals last year.
I did. I like the Heat last year. Q, did you pick the Heat last year?
I think in our chat, yeah, I think we all had the Heat because we looked at the Heat and we're like, oh nah, Bucks.
We love the Heat last year.
Yeah, they were all on it. But yeah, Levi, I know you have a lot in this series because your Heat friends are the worst part of your life.
Yeah, so for my sanity, I need the Bucks to win.
But bro, if they win, they're just gonna get clapped in the second round.
That's true. Well, I mean, yeah.
Realistically. But yeah, all right. So the next series we have on docket, I'm making an executive decision here because we had a tie, but I'm making an executive decision. Knicks Hawks.
Let's go.
Save me for last.
Okay.
Hold on. Let me say. I got a Knicks friend. His name is Calvin. If you hear this, Calvin, I want you to know the Hawks is winning in 7. I got respect for the Knicks. I think the Knicks are going to enjoy the fact they ain't tasted the playoffs in 8 years. So they're going to push it as far as possible, all right? They will try to give you as many playoff games as they can because they're not advancing, all right?
I love it.
I say whole name. Francel. I got to say the whole name. We'll put the mic closer. You think the Atlanta Hawks are going to go to Game 7 in Madison Square Garden and embarrass the Knicks?
With
Spike Lee in the building? In attendance?
It would be the greatest thing for the internet.
Listen.
I mean, go ahead, Q.
Who got the Knicks fucked up? If you think, look, I don't want to look. I'm a Hawks fan for the most part. I watch a lot of the Hawks. I love Trae Young. He's like a top 3 favorite player in the league for me. But if we had to pick a team based off of feel, right? Feel, presence, energy, buzz, excitement, all that kind of stuff. Even if it's a little overhyped, right? Because it's the best the Knicks have been in however long. Even if it's a little undeserved, they don't believe that. They care. They're going to go out there and they're going to fight. And I'm telling you, if I'm any team that's in the East, I don't want to play them. I don't want to play it. I don't want to play a Tibbs coach team at all. I don't want to see Emmanuel Quickly. I don't want to see Derrick Rose. I don't want to see Julius Randle and all those dogs that they got out there because they care and they're gonna fight. So
You do want to see Alfred Payton,
next.
though.
Yeah, I want to see Alfred Payton. But this team is gonna fight, man. This team is gonna fight, and I got them beating the Hawks. I got them beating the Hawks in 5. Honestly, I got them beating the Hawks in 5. I don't trust this team just yet. The coaching change did wind up being a good thing for the Hawks as they got their rotational stuff back together and implemented some different ways of approaches. That was all good as Lloyd Pierce was in the locker room. But right here in this moment, right this second, the Knicks could fall off the next year and it could be trash again for the next 5. But right here in this moment, I don't want to see the Knicks, and I got them taking this series pretty clearly.
Leave, I'm passing you right off that. I'm not gonna make a comment. I'm passing it right to you.
So I don't totally disagree with Q. I don't want to see the Knicks either because of the momentum, but at the same time, I want to see the Knicks because this is the perfect build-up and crash that we always get from the Knicks. This is just a more prolonged build-up. So the crash in the first round is going to be beautiful. It's going to be appropriate. I got the Hawks in 6. If you look at the season series, yeah, we're 0-3 against them. But if you look at it closely, that is 2 games with the previous head coach. And then the last game, we were tied up with them, went into OT, but Trae Young rolled his ankle and was out. And we ended up losing to him by 6 points. We're finally about to be fully healthy. Can't say fully yet because we're not going to see Reddish again this year. But
Chris Dunn ever. Is Chris Dunn a Hawk? Is he really a Hawk?
Yeah, sure? According to the injury report, he is. But
do we really know if he's a Hawk?
Yeah. Do we actually know if he's on the team?
That's about it. I've never seen him.
Yeah.
But so with that, and I think the Hawks, both these teams have a lot of momentum. We're going to get Hunter. I think Hunter is going to be more close to 100% going into the series. And so I think he's going to be my X factor for it because he's a guy you can throw around. We got different guys who can guard Julius Randle, but I think he's going to be the best matchup for him. But when we don't.
Do you really?
I love Deion. I love DeAndre, but he's a Julius is a big man.
that is true. That is true. I don't think they're going to stick him on him the whole time. I think they're going to rotate a lot, 3 or 4 different defenders on him. I think Solomon Hill. If I had to throw another X factor in there, it'd be Solomon Hill. Punching up on Julius Randle, committing a few fouls against him. Just
the
make
man
it
that made
hard.
AD leave the Pelicans.
Yeah,
the man that made AD like this nigga. I can't do this.
Yeah, that guy.
But continue.
But so I got the Hawks. I think Bogdanovich too is going to go off the series, and he's going to be, in my opinion, he's kind of the glue piece. Just because he's been a lot more consistent than Trae, I would kind of make that argument. So yeah, Hawks in 6.
Well, I want to just make a point. Julius Randle averaged 24 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists this year. In his 3 games against the Hawks, he averaged 37 points, 12 rebounds, 6.7 assists on 58% shooting from the field. Julius cooks the Hawks. Okay, he's this what he's done this year. Even when Collins is there, he's had his moments where he's just kind of cooked them as a team, as a staff label and a crew. I think that's a very important deal. This is a weird series to me because both teams are young in the playoffs, but only one team has the veteran experience of Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, which Taj isn't a great player right now, but Taj's playoff experience is his playoff experience. And him, Derrick Rose, and Tibbs have all been deep in the playoffs together. They all had really good teams. They've done this before. They've seen this movie. They know how it goes. They know what to do. Defensively, they are a scary team. Like I said, Q said with Thibodeau, they're going to be hard. No, it's going to be there in your face every game. They're not going to roll over at any point. It's going to be a tough series. And the inexperience of Trae, man, this being Trae's first playoff experience, it's like the Devin Booker thing. a team is looking at you for 7 games. And on top of that, Tibbs has had 7 days to look at you and see what you like to do and tell his Knicks players every day, hey, this Trae Young kid, you see him? He's got a ball spot already. Don't be scared. Get him. Be scared. Like he's had 7 days already do that ahead of the series. And another thing, Levi, I've told you this multiple times. I don't trust Nate McMillan in the playoffs. I don't remember last time I seen that man win a playoff series as a head coach. I really don't. I've seen him lose a lot of them. I remember seeing him win one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I don't know when this happened. So I am worried about him in this situation. I think the Knicks can cause some problems in there. And I think the Knicks offense is the Hawks offense is incredibly like it can explode at any moment. And they'll probably have a couple games where they go off offensively, right? But I think just the consistency of the Knicks and the toughness is going to wear them down at some point. That factor for me is how Trae Young is officiated in this series. Because Trae gets a lot of the iffy, like the full through calls in the regular season that you don't get in the playoffs. It's happened to James Harden in the playoffs a lot of times. Like all those calls you built your game off of in the free throw line, you're not getting them in the playoffs. And it's always it threw him off for a while. So I wonder how Trae's going to counter that when that happens for the first time in the playoffs. He's like not getting those calls he's used to getting. It's like, hey man, you call us all the time. He already complains enough as it is. Lord have mercy if he starts not getting calls, I think he might get into his head a little bit. So yeah, I think that's the real thing I'm looking at in this series. And I'm looking at the coaching matchup. So I think I got the Knicks in this series, but I think I got them in 6. But this is good with Hawks. Hawks did something I didn't know if they were really going to do this year because I thought they were trying to do too much too fast. They pushed it and got in. So I do salute the Hawks, but I think the Knicks got this series.
Look, this year the trend is to turn around. So Budenholzer, he's going to turn it around. Nate McMillan, he's going to turn it around. We're all good.
Redemption.
So, redemption. 2021 redemption.
None of you live in New York, so I can't afford the Knicks to win.
Yeah.
All right. I can't afford the streets to be flooded. I can't afford people to be up all night. I'm trying to sleep. You know what I'm saying? They have to lose. And Brooklyn's far away from me. All right. That's fine. They can win. I can go to sleep at night.
It don't hurt. Yeah.
The Knicks win. I might be able to hear that from Manhattan in the Bronx.
Yeah.
Understood. Any final thoughts or anybody? We good?
Yeah, I want to ask, France, are you going to take advantage of that 50% off promo code for the Nets? You see that?
It's only for vaccinated people.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Sorry. My bad.
I didn't know all the tightest audience. What? France is it?
I don't care. They can say what they want. I got you. All right, the next series. This is a series I'm actually very excited about. But someone here wasn't very excited about it. Someone here rated this series a 1 on a scale of 1 to 8. The Denver Nuggets and Portland Trailblazers series. Levi, I want you to defend yourself. Yes, I want you to defend why you gave the series a 1. Why are you not interested in this series?
That's crazy.
Why are you uninterested? Defend yourself right now.
I think it was midnight when I sent you that text.
It was late.
Let's just say, yeah, I was under the weather, maybe. So yeah, I wasn't thinking it clear. I wasn't thinking clear right there. So I'm gonna excuse myself from this conversation because I don't deserve to be in it after ranking it like that. It's gonna be good. It's gonna be a good series, but I do not have the Trailblazers winning.
Okay. I'm gonna toss to Q. Before I toss to Q, this series is guaranteed to go 7 games, right? Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, I think we all remember that one that we had a couple of years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
4 overtime game.
Yeah. Oh, man, it sucks missing Jamal Murray in the playoffs, man.
It
sucks. It sucks to have no Jamal Murray here. And while the Nuggets have been really good without Jamal Murray, which is one of the biggest accomplishments of any team this year,
it locked up the MVP for Jokic. It literally locked up.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Man, it makes it tough to call because in the playoffs you're going to need that reliable scoring. You're going to need that reliable second option, and really for Murray, sometimes first option. Jokic took that leap this year, but Murray for a long time was kind of the first option in Denver. And I do think that's gonna matter here, facing a healthy Blazers team or like a relatively healthy Blazers team, a team that was able to get into the playoffs a couple of times in the past couple of years through sheer attrition and Damian Lillard just being a god. But now we have a healthy Blazers team, and I think that is gonna be a big key here. I think someone like a Derrick Jones Jr. and his defensive versatility, something that the Trailblazers haven't always had, is going to be an X factor here. And as much as I love Denver, as much as I love Jokic, as much as I think that with Jamal Murray, that they might have taken this series clear. I think that without that clear option, a clear, reliable option outside of Jokic for scoring the ball, that is going to be a tough out for them. And Denver are the kings of shutting everybody up and proving them wrong. Denver did it this year with Jokic taking the leap. And who thought that this guy would sit there and get in the MVP race and then be the front runner and be the rightful winner of MVP. Right. But I don't know how long I can expect this to keep going, running into a healthy team like the Blazers in a continuously great backcourt like Dame and CJ.
Yeah, that's the thing with me, right?
I think I got the Blazers. I think I got the Blazers here. I think I got the Blazers in 7.
Okay. That's the thing with me, right? It's like that's not having Jamal Murray. It's like in sports, some things don't matter until they matter, right? And not having Jamal Murray hasn't really mattered that much. But now we're in the playoffs, and you got to lean on MPJ a lot. MPJ, he's mentally ready to do anything. Lord have mercy. But is he really ready for the playoff smoke that's going to be coming from him now that you're the main? You're going to be the second option, and they're looking at you. Is he really ready for that? Now, I think the good thing for him is Portland's defense is not necessarily that terrifying, right? So it's like, hey, I could probably get this off a little bit. Maybe get off a little bit, but it's it's going to be a group effort for the Nuggets in this. They're going to have to put a lot together. France, do you think MPJ is ready to take that step, and how you think the series goes?
I think he is, man. To be honest, he was inconsistent last year, but there's always potential. Plus, he was a third option last year too, right? So he had the window and flexibility to be inconsistent, right? Now more than ever, you can't be, so that he might rise to the occasion. Since Jamal Murray's been averaging 25 points a game, and when I think of like the Nuggets, 4 out of their last 5 playoff series in the last couple of years have gone to 7 games, like. 28 games in 4 playoff series, that's just experience. That's mileage. That's tenacity. That's like a team I refuse to lose in the first round. And I think about this play all the time when I think it was game 2 when AD hit the game winner on the Nuggets in the conference finals last year. Yeah. That post play where Jokic just took AD and just like treated him like he was like Aaron Baines or something. I'm like, what is that? This is a defensive player of the year candidate. Like he's just toying with him.
When that happened, I think I texted everybody. I was like, I understand why AD don't want to play center now. I totally get it. Just treat him like it didn't matter.
Jokic is just too good. I love watching him play too. You need Dame to be a hero all the time. The Blazers defense has not solved their issues from last year neither. So I actually got the Nuggets win this comfortably. I don't think it's going to be as competitive as you guys think it is. And plus Aaron Gordon, man, this guy might not have been the best player being the first, second option in Orlando, but you make that man the 4th option. He's resourceful.
That was. If you were looking for any, because we saw Jeremy Grant move on to Detroit. If you wanted to, you got to upgrade that with Aaron Gordon there. Honestly.
Yeah. And thing is, Aaron's not coming in. Aaron's been in the playoffs. He's hadn't been in games that actually mattered because he was with Orlando. But now he's actually in playoff games that matter. He's like, I've been here before, but we actually have a chance for real. What? We can win one. Like it's gonna be a different thing for him.
There's a lot of people, like everything about the NBA is dope because it's like everything is setting and timing, right? And there's a lot of people that might be way better than we think they are. They're just not on the right team with the right players at the right time.
Right.
And I think he's definitely one of them.
Yes, fact. I think the thing with Portland, man, I love Portland. I love watching Dame play, but they have to exert so much energy to get out of a round to win a game. And then they end up worn down just because how much effort they got to put forth. And I think it's gonna be one of those series for them. If they pull it out, like they're gonna be dead by the next series. So I think we're gonna see some heroics on both sides, right? I think these two teams just built to create great matchups. Like they're just built for that. And I think we're gonna see another really, really good series, competitive series. I think I wanna lean Portland just because I value having Dame and CJ, and I think missing Jamal is going to matter at some point. That Jamal and Jokic 2-man game is pretty much irreplaceable to me, and I think it's going to matter as much as I think Denver is a great team. Jokic is the rightful MVP. Now, I know people are going to have the hot takes they lose series about, the MVP went on the first round. No, it's going to come no matter what. I don't want to hear it. Jokic deserves that award. He earned it. I think he's going to fight, but I think Portland might just pull it out, just have the edge and just because it's a lot of don't quit on both sides. But that don't quit with Dame and CJ, if they smell blood, it's going to be, I think they might take it. Because CJ killed him last time. Stop forget. CJ's the reason they went home last time. CJ had the game 7. He just went crazy on him from the mid range. He went back to the 90s on him. He was just killing him.
Some fun, wild X factors, but don't rule it out. Austin Rivers, he's played in a lot of playoff games. He's had a couple games where he played. maybe not. I don't know, but maybe he has
Melo's
that
my
one
X factor.
game. Maybe he has that one game where like, oh,
Yes.
this is Doc Rivers' son, Campazzo. You know what I'm saying? He's not afraid of a shot. I don't know if he should be taking all the shots, but he ain't afraid of the moment. That's
He'll
for
do
sure.
it. He'll do it.
And bigger picture, Blazers lose. Does this become the year where everybody starts to say, "Dame, we want you out of there"? Like, does that become the year where everybody?
Probably. The people are gonna want Dame out of there. Dame ain't gonna do it though. I think the issue for them is that I think low key, as much as they love Terry Stotts, I think it might be time to move on, bro. It really might be time to move on. I think I was listening to a podcast the other week. And they said they were thinking about doing it a few years ago, and Dame and TJ like, nah, we're not doing that. So, and you got to keep them happy, and I get that, and they're loyal dudes, but sometimes loyalty is not. You got to be loyal to the right people. I'm just saying. Levi, you can give your take. Who you got winning this series? You're forgiven. Your sin is forgiven.
No, thanks. Yeah, it's going to be the Nuggets, and let me really stretch for this X factor to my Bama boy, JaMychal Green. JaMychal Green.
All right, then. JaMychal Green X factor. Carmelo's my
What
X
is he going to do? I don't know.
Melo's gonna have a 30-point game.
X factor.
Melo's gonna have a 30-point game in this series. That's all that really matters for me. It's a big Carmelo game. Yeah.
Hot take.
Yeah. He gonna show Michael Porter Jr. how it's done. Let me show you how it's done, young fella. Let me show you how the real do this. All right. So those are our higher rated series. No other series on the list got double-digit vote points when I compiled the numbers. So the next highest series is let me throw it right to Q. Q.
Come on,
Celtics Nets.
Come on.
I'll just let you go.
I'll be back.
Okay.
Jason Tatum is gonna drop 67 points in one of these games. They're gonna win one game, and then they're gonna get smacked the rest of them. There's no Jaylen Brown. They've been fucking terrible the rest of the year. Kemba is looking decent-ish. He looked good against the Wizards.
Yeah.
I guess that's in 5, man. France, someone take this shit. I don't want to talk about these niggas. No.
You know, every single Celtics fan I know, and my best friend's a Celtics fan. No, I want to talk about your team, man. What happened this year?
Why? I don't know why they're in the playoffs. I don't know why they decided to win.
I only agreed to do this pod if you give me a 2-minute rant as to.
I don't know why Jason Tatum decided to drop 50 points and beat the Wizards. I don't understand any of this. I'm frustrated. This team has been baffling. All the decisions made by management have been baffling. I don't even blame Brad Stevens because why? Like when you have Tristan Thompson here just taking up minutes, it's kind of hard to figure out the rest of the lineup because he offers nothing outside of grabbing a rebound. So everything's kind of thrown off here. I can't be mad at him because Kemba got injured. You can't be mad at anybody. Kemba was hurt. There's a very confusing team. There's a team that needs to be humbled, though. I'll say this. There's a team that needs to be humbled. If you look at them in Jason Tatum's first 4 seasons, they've gone to the conference finals twice and have never been bounced out in the first round. This is the lowest that they've ever been coming into the playoffs. This is a team that badly needs to be humbled. So while you might have good things like Jaylen Brown individually has taken a leap. Jason Tatum individually has taken a leap. He's looking like he might be more than Paul George. He's looking like he might be a Kobe level guy. Like, we're seeing leaps, but it doesn't matter right now because they needed to be humbled. There's the young team that's experienced a lot of success, and I am looking forward to my team getting their asses kicked by the Avengers in the next week.
Hugh, I relate to your pain because I am an Eagles fan, so I know the pain of hating your team and then having them start winning games for no reason. It's like, for what? Why are we doing this?
It's the worst.
Like, it is. It's so
worst.
annoying. Like, I understand.
Do you remember that Celtics Lakers game last year before the pandemic where Tatum looked unguardable?
Yeah.
I think you can pull one of those games out this series at least. You know what I'm saying?
He might score. I'm telling you, it sounds crazy, but this dude might be like scoring 60. He might drop a 65. Like
someone who predicted his 50-point game on accident, well, I predicted 48 and he went over. I would have lost. I technically would have lost. As someone who predicted that, I see Tatum having one of those games for sure. Because Tatum in the guard, Tatum gets in the guard, and the guard gets all excited. Tatum's be hitting everything.
I can also see the Celtics taking advantage of the Nets using this series like, oh, let's figure out our chemistry. Let's figure this out. You know what I'm saying? Like us combined, Durant, Harden, and Kyrie, they have like less than 5 games together.
I think
as far as minutes.
Oh yeah, minutes probably. Yeah,
like that lineup doesn't have that much playing time. They're all amazing, so they probably don't even need it. But that chemistry does matter at some point in the playoffs. Right. They're gonna probably say, "Oh, this is the time to experiment. This is the time to figure shit out." So you might get the Tatum game, and then it might be like 3-1, and the Nets should close it. And then you get the weird, wonky Nets game, and it's 3.
You might get the Marcus Smart game. Like that's what. This is why I hate them so much, right? Because they're in this position. We're still talking about Brad Stevens. We're still talking about one of the smartest coaches that the NBA has seen in years. One of the most consistent coaches that the NBA has seen in years. His back is against the wall here. It's seemingly a can't-win situation. They're not facing a team that's as bad of a matchup for them as, say, like Philly, right? Because they're not facing
Philly would be a nightmare. There's no big man to worry about.
Right.
No big man to worry about, yeah.
But right here in this moment, the Nets, while they're this incredible juggernaut, if someone was to say that they think that the Celtics could take it to 6, possibly 7, just with Brad Stevens with his coaching, and then Jason Tatum taking that next leap, and then still having that they haven't made it to a finals, but that's still like a winner's mentality that they have. The Celtics win. This roster that they have assembled currently, they're used to winning. Tatum is used to the big moments already, even though he's only 22, 23 years old. So that does matter here. And granted, they're going against 3 of the best guys of the last 10 years in Blake Griffin, who just decided he wanted to jump again. Yeah. You know, like they're facing a really, really, really great team. But as much as I hate them, I guess you really can't count them out either.
Yeah, I understand. Levi, what you got?
Yeah, when I heard Celtics Nets, it popped into my mind. It reminded me right after we get done with this, I got to do some cleaning. So I went out to the garage and grabbed my broom because it's going to be a sweep. I think they're going to experiment.
That's what you got up for. Is that what you got up
exactly. That's exactly why I got up. I got up so I can get the prop and say they're going to get swept because, yes, the Nets are going to toy with them. They're going to do some experimenting, but you know how they're going to do it? Oh, let's see how far we can get down. And then we're just going to take turns of taking over the fourth quarter. So it'll be Kyrie the first game. He'll have a 30-point fourth quarter. Then the next game will be KD. So, yeah, I have maybe 1. They might get 1, but no, this is going to be way too easy for the Nets, in my opinion.
I believe in the Tatum.
My man, you gotta stay ready so you don't gotta get ready, bro. All right. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, come on, man.
This is out of control.
Yeah.
Man, I'm with Q. I think the Celtics get a game because I think Jason Tatum is gonna have one of those games for sure. Kemba's going. All I really need from this series, honestly, I need a Kemba crossover to like a dagger shot. That's all I need in life. A Kemba crossover makes me happy for days. Mm-hmm. Like one good Kemba ankle breaker, it can satisfy me for a week.
Fam, Kyrie's about to cook this dude.
But Kemba's gonna cook him back.
He's gonna cook him back.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm telling
you.
I'm
from the Bronx, man. I love Kemba, man. I actually seen Kemba live and all that. Like, shouts to the BX legend. You know what I'm saying? But you went to Boston over coming to New York when we had 2 slots, bro. You chose a racist city and a few dollars over coming to your home city. You're gonna lose, bro. You're gonna lose the rest of your career for this.
Yeah, look.
Sorry.
As much as I love Kemba, and Kemba has looked better, like I mentioned that Wizards game. Yes. He looked good. He looked all right. Kyrie, I've been saying from the beginning of this, Kyrie wants smoke. He doesn't.
Kyrie brings the smoke. He has a sage.
Yeah, he's gonna bring the smoke. He's gonna ask you if you have yours. He wants to match. Kyrie wants smoke, and I think that Kyrie Irving is going to be very, very, very excited to be back in the playoffs. He wants smoke.
This is the first time Kyrie's actually gonna have to play in the Garden because he's ducked every other game.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that.
He's coming in to burn all the sage. Have like 5 different stations of sage. Kyrie is coming to kill. I know it's a cop out to name one of the star players. Like I should name like Joe Harris or some shit.
That's a good point.
Because like that's cooler. Kyrie wants smoke. I think that if I'm gonna think of anybody that is gonna be the best player on the Nets this series, I usually would be inclined to say Harden, but Kyrie wants smoke. I think he especially has it for Boston.
Yeah, I think you got a point there. So yeah, I think I got Nets in 5. So we got 3 sweeps and Nets in 5, or 2 sweeps and Nets in 5, basically. That's what we got.
Yeah, that's
all
it.
All right, so we'll move on. The next matchup we have, let's see. Okay. 76ers, Ben Simmons Incorporated over here versus the Wizards officially. I will go first on this one, even though I'm the host. I'm gonna go first because I am the host. I am the leader of Ben Simmons Incorporated, Defense Player of the Year. I don't care what you say. What's a Rudy? What's a Rudy to a Ben? You know what I'm saying? What's France to Australia? You feel me? The Australian gang's in the building. Ben Simmons, DPOY of the Year. This is going to be a very interesting series for me because I want to see how the Sixers handle being the 1 seed. I want that you've done all this work. You got the new coach. You got the actual coach who I actually kind of believe in. Unless you get a 3-1 lead, I don't trust him anymore. You got the actual coach. You got Ben in there. Embiid, you've been talking. You got in the MVP race. I'm sorry, you lost it. I mean, you did your thing, but Jokic just. I'm sorry, you missed some games. Jokic lost his man and took over. I'm sorry, you got the MVP, but you got in there. Embiid finally stepped up to where he should be as a big man. He's finally being a dominant big man, as Shaq would say. Be dominant, as Shaq would say. This is a very interesting series for me because I think this Sixers team fits very well as opposed to the other Sixers teams that have been assembled. I'm in a weird spot, okay, guys, because I hate everything about Sam Hinkie and what he did. I truly do. But I like the Sixers as a team. I'm a Ben fan. I don't know. I like guys that can't shoot. Ben and Russell Westbrook. I love them. They can't shoot. I don't care. I love what they do. I love everything they bring. So I think the Sixers are going to take the series, but I want to see how their mindset going for. I want to see if they treat this as if they should be the 1 seed and treat the Wizards like an 8 seed and get them out of here embarrassingly because that's what they should do. The mindset is the key for me that I want to see with the Sixers. Embiid's X factor because Gafford gonna guard him. I like Gafford, but I mean, Embiid should average 35 in this series, bro. Like, there's nothing we should talk about. You know what I'm saying? So I got the Sixers in this series. I'm curious about seeing the mindset. So I'll make the 1 seed. France.
I'll make this quick. Levy, I know I'm not sure how big of a battle rap fan you are. I heard this analogy yesterday and I loved it. Titus and Q. Somebody said Russell Westbrook is Danny Myers. I'm like, yo, I love that.
No, don't you dare.
Come on.
Don't you dare.
Just straight ferocity. Ferocity with no quality wins. I love it. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna happen this series. Like I'm just gonna see 110% Westbrook. I think he can win a game or two. If Westbrook does that, I'm only gonna take 8 shots and just pass kind of thing.
Like he did last night, right? He cut the shots down and they destroyed the Pacers.
You know what I'm saying? 15, 16, 17 assists, maybe 8, 9 shot attempts. I can see a game out there. And Westbrook has that pride that he will not let Embiid sweep him. You know what I'm saying?
They do hate each other.
They do hate each other.
Like, got about that. So yeah, they're gonna be going at it. That's my aspect.
Even when Westbrook is out, even when he's outmatched, like you can look back at OKC versus Houston. They lost in 5. They lost to the Jazz in 6. They lost to the Blazers in 5. Even when he's outmatched, his will is just, you gotta put too much respect on his will. He's gonna get.
He fights. Westbrook's gonna fight no matter what. Gonna fight no matter what. He
treats every minute
Westbrook like the first minute. I also want to shout out Russell Westbrook for being up so much on the pace last night. He took his shoes off, threw him in the crowd with 5 minutes left in the game, and was on the bench with no shoes on for 5 minutes. Just because. The disrespect, dog. Disrespect is different. Levi, how you feel about this series?
Yeah, so I don't know who that Myers guy is that you referenced, but if he's packed with a delusional confidence, then yeah, very accurate.
Oh, God, that's so perfect.
It's a good comparison.
No, it's not.
So Russ is going to take that demented confidence all the way to 1 win, and that's what they'll get. I'll give them 1 win because Russ will snap and Beal will be. They'll both have like 30 points each, and parlay that into a very close victory.
Okay. Now I do want to say about the Wizards team, I had high expectations for them coming into this year. I like the roster they have, honestly. I like the roster they have if it's healthy. I think Bill and Westbrook is a good one too. They somehow were never healthy at the same time, which really sucks. But I think that's something they got a roster they can build towards with the coach named Scott Brooks. I'll just say that. Q.
The Bradley Beal, I want to see him have a moment here. and I want to see
Right.
them win a game. I want to see that. But the Sixers are my pick to win the championship.
Talk to
So,
me.
I'm not sure how much I can commit to that. Ben Simmons, the Defensive Player of the Year. Joel Embiid, top three MVP finalists.
Mm-hmm.
You have probably, from my money, the best supporting cast in the league right now. If we're going down, Danny Green, Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey, Thibault, Tobias Harris.
Fits.
Look,
they fit very well.
Look, man, I'm not betting against the Sixers in anybody this playoffs. I'm not betting against them at all. If they eventually get to the Avengers, I got them in 7. I am not betting against this team. I'm not betting against the supporting cast. So for right now, I got them in 5. I think that what Titus pointed out, that experience being the 1 seed could get to their heads a little bit. It might, and they might get knocked back down to earth with Bradley Beal dropping 50. But I still expect them to handle business and handle the Wizards in 5. But I am not betting against the Sixers at all in these playoffs. X factor wise, I think Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle, but if he's coming back from his hand injury, I'm not sure what his status is for game 1. But if that's the guy that we're going to have guarding Bradley Beal, and they can alternate it, they can have Tyrese Maxey, they can have Danny Green, they can have Seth Curry, which is why this team is a hard out for anybody in the playoffs this year.
Right.
I got Matisse Thybulle as my X factor because of what he offers in terms of defense and what that defense might mean for Bradley Beal.
Matisse Thybulle, did he lead the league in blocks as a guard this year? For guards, I think he led it by like a large margin for guards this year.
I'm fairly sure.
While missing games. Like, he's ridiculous. Thybull's a ridiculous player. Can you and me was talking about Thybulle since last year? Like, yo, who is this?
I'm mad the Celtics couldn't get him. I am so upset that the Celtics couldn't get him.
Yeah, that boy is nasty. So yeah, I'm curious. And I don't know if it's gonna be in this series, but at some point, Ben is gonna have to do things he doesn't like to do. And the thing that annoys me about Ben is we've seen him put 40 up on teams before. He put 40 up on the Jazz. Like, he put 40 on them easily. So
I'm not a scorer.
Yes, yeah, exactly. He's capable. Like, come on, bro. Like, he's capable of doing it. I think he's gonna have to do it because they're gonna test him. Team's gonna try and lock up Embiid. So Ben, it's gonna be on Ben to take over, and he's gonna have to be ready to do that. And I think in the playoffs he's willing to do it. In regular season, I think he's gonna try and do Ben Simmons thing. But I think in the playoff situations, he knows he's got to do.
Big difference here. We have reliable shooting now. We have reliable shooting. We got Danny Green, Seth Curry, Tyrese Maxey. Even look.
It's the other week.
For this playoff series, for this
playoff series, that's your week.
for this season playoffs, that's the week. There's the team. Look, Celtics. I don't even know who they are. this is the team I'm with. This postseason.
You gotta do.
Trainer.
Look, but we're talking about Tyrese. We're talking about Tyrese Maxey, Seth Curry, Danny Green. If you want to throw in some George Hill minutes, you can even throw George Hill in there, and we know that George Hill's a reliable shooter too. Matisse Thybulle, not as consistent as those guys, but Matisse Thybulle can knock down those shots. Ben, if Joel gets eliminated here, if Joel gets locked up, Ben still has that driving kick. It's like, he has that reliably now. And I think that that's what makes this team so dangerous. They might not be the best 3-point shooting team in the league, but they have enough guys as to where Ben can drive and kick and have full confidence that someone is out there that can knock that shot down and not ask Ben to step too much out of his comfort zone.
Right. And like I said, I think Seth Curry is a big deal because Seth Curry, like, he ain't his brother, but he knows his role and he's going to do his job every single time on the court. He's going to shoot those threes, and that's going to be a threat, and that's going to be a problem for anybody to deal with, especially with Ben's impact. Because Ben led the league in percentage of shots made off his passes this year, 3 points made off his passes this year. Like, Ben knows what he's doing with that. But yeah, I just want to see how the Sixers handle this series. They need to get them out of here. Don't play around. Don't do a Raptors thing where you the 1 seed. You had been a 6-game series with 8 for no reason. Shout out to the DeMar DeRozan, Kyle Lowry Raptor era. But
last thing on Philly, man. Shouts to the bull Mike Scott. Hope he gets some minutes in this. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to the homie Mike.
Shout out to the homie
Mike. For sure. The last series, Jazz versus whoever wins this Grizzlies Warriors game tonight. Anybody have anything special to say about the series? Anybody think the Jazz are going to be out here as a 1 seed?
if the Warriors win, it'll be interesting, and I can see the Warriors getting. I can see it going to 6, but I got the Jazz winning.
Okay.
I have to respect the 1 seed. You know what I'm saying? I have to. Yeah, y'all know how I feel about Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? I would love for nothing more for Curry to beat the Grizzlies tonight and beat the Jazz. That would be my dream come true. You know?
Why do you hate Donovan Mitchell, by the way? What is this about?
It's just pure.
It never makes sense. You hate Donovan Mitchell so much, and I don't get it. I've never understood why you hate Donovan so much.
Listen,
I feel like he's like one of the most likable guys in the NBA.
Levi, Donovan Mitchell put up one of the most fun series last year in the playoffs. All fans had to say was, so Donovan lost the ball at the end of the game, huh? That's all he had to say. That's all you can say about it. It was a 7-game historic series. All he had to say was Donovan couldn't hold the ball, huh? Like, really? That was the only takeaway. That's all he had to say.
I'm not sure where you see that duplicated. I don't know.
Yeah, the thing that worries me about the Jazz, honestly, is the fact that Conley and Mitchell have missed a substantial amount of time, and you're trying to work them back in the playoffs, which is always a little tricky. It's less tricky if you get the Grizzlies. A little more tricky if you get Curry and them and Draymond in there. Because here's one thing that Rudy Gobert ain't gonna be doing this series, in the Warriors series, and that's being important. Rudy Gobert will not matter in that series. They will make Rudy Gobert irrelevant in the Warriors series. Let's just be honest about that. If Rudy's relevant, it can get tricky. But I think the Jazz, unless I like the Warriors, I want to see the Warriors win. I think the Jazz, they're not just a come out of nowhere 1 seed like the Suns, right? Not like out of nowhere 2 seed. They've been here. This is kind of the journey a team takes in the playoffs, right? As a team, it's like you get the 4-5, you build from there, you keep going, you might lose here and there, you build up. Now they're at that spot where you think they should be. This is what people thought they would be last year anyway, when they got Conley, when they added the other Bogdanovich. Like, this is what people thought they were going to be. That's disrespectful. I'm sorry. Y'all know what I'm saying. When they added them, this is what they thought they'd be last year anyway, and now they're there. So it's like, my heart wants to pick the Warriors because I think the 1 and the 2 seed in the West both losing would be really funny. And I'm like, I'm not a Rudy Gobert guy, and I'm not a Utah guy in general. So I think it'd be really, really funny. But I think they get the Warriors out of it because the Warriors don't have enough offensively. They'll be tough defensively, and I don't know if the Jazz can replicate what the Lakers did defensively, right? But I just think eventually having to rely on Juan Toscano Anderson and who else they rely on in Golden State?
Jordan Poole, take it easy, man. You like JTA. Take it easy.
Like, he's just the first thing that comes to mind.
You said you like JTA. What's going on here?
I'm just saying. I don't rely. I like him. It's the playoffs, though. He ain't seen this before. He don't know what it's about.
I'm gonna be honest. Draymond Green really impressed me in the play-in game against the Lakers, bro. Because I was like, yo, like, that was prime Draymond. That was like peak Draymond right there. It's like, he still got. He's had moments this entire season. He had moments this entire season where he's not looking to score. He's not really as potent on defense, but he figured out like the switch, where to turn it on. Yeah, sure, they're gonna leave him open, but he's just gonna dish it out. And his playmaking never went away. You know what I'm saying? His intensity never went away. Right. And like I saw that clip surface earlier this season where he had a 3-on-1 fast break and he broke it up.
Yeah.
It's like this is shit that only Draymond could do. So like at the very least, with Draymond's intensity and high IQ and all these guys being as coachable as hell. Like that's one thing about this Warrior team. I see Jordan Poole. I see Juan. Like they all look like they're ready to take any order Steve Curry and Draymond's going to give to them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're not afraid. They're extremely confident in Curry playing better than his MVP season. Let's put that out there too. I'm rooting for the Warriors, man. I'm sorry. I'm rooting for the Warriors.
I just think the Jazz, I think they'll have a pretty successful playoff trip throughout this. I don't know.
They have a lot of depth. They have a lot of firepower.
Exactly. They have way too much offensive firepower when it comes to Ingles, Bogdanovich. And I think the X factor, what's going to determine how successful like the Jazz are going to be in these playoffs is going to be Jordan Clarkson. So and he's been nasty.
Playoff Clarkson is crazy. It's really crazy.
Yeah.
Q, you got any thoughts on this series? Are we doing too much? Are Jazz gonna get him out of here?
I need more respect on the Jazz when they are a top 5 offensive team in the league. They are the number 1 defense in the league. They are a top 5 3-point shooting team in the league. The Jazz, sometimes you don't got to rebuild. Sometimes you just got to find a decent piece. And sometimes you just need more chemistry and time with each other. Mike Conley needed more time with this group, and you plugged in Jordan Clarkson. And that stuff helped tremendously. Yeah. This team, look, I get it. When we see these teams in the playoffs so often, you want to see some different improvements. You get tired of it because you feel like you're not seeing any changes here. Rudy Gobert, how long are we gonna see you in the playoffs and you make no meaningful contribution on the offensive end, right? But
forever.
With Jordan Clarkson here, that burden on Gobert does get lifted a little bit. And we are seeing a team that just if we're looking at the numbers, has a defense that's looking better than the Lakers. It's a three-point shooting team that's way up in the upper percentile, has been one of the top shooting, has been one of the top offensive teams in the entire season. We're looking at unprecedented stuff here. Sometimes the team is like, okay, we're top 5 in defense, but we're top 10 in offense, and we're like number 9 or 10. We're talking about a team that's top 5 in these things.
Yeah,
the Jazz
that's
are
typically a recipe for a championship.
Yeah,
there was a time where you had to be top 5 in both to even make a finals.
Yeah, the Jazz. I don't want to commit to anything crazy here because we still want to see it. We've still seen we've seen Donovan Mitchell have big moments. Mike Conley and Donovan Mitchell, like Titus said, they're coming back from various injuries, and we've seen the Jazz in the playoffs before not be able to make the best adjustments under Quinn Snyder. That's all true, but you can't deny what we've seen this entire year. And do I suddenly think it's going to turn off when we get to the playoffs? I can't say so. So I got the Jazz pretty clear against whoever, whether it's the Grizzlies or the Warriors. I got the Jazz in 5, and then I'm very curious to see how the Jazz play out throughout the rest of the playoffs.
Yeah. There's another team. It's like you got the 1 seed. And it's like, now what are you going to do with that? You're where you should be. What are you going to do with that spotlight now? And I think, honestly, playing the Warriors would be better for them because I want to see them get punched a little bit in the first round, right? I want to see them in a little bit of a fight in the first round. I want to see them have to fight through something.
I think Memphis will be the bigger fight.
Really?
I think, yes, Memphis are dogs. Memphis are complete dogs, and I think that gets lost here because of the star power of we want to see Steph Curry and how you handle facing a star. But you're facing that young, hungry Memphis core that got Jaren Jackson back. You're facing dogs like Dylan Brooks. I would rather face the Warriors if I was the Jazz.
Interesting. Now, I think the Warriors that stands out to me, right, is that when they were in the finals and everybody kept getting hurt, everybody was getting injured. They had no business being that close with the Raptors, dog. That was a shot away from being in the Game 7. Those dudes are not down to take any type of L, bro. If they're in the game, they're gonna make sure they got a chance to beat you. They just got that winner mentality. Like, that's why I think it's a scary series. Even when they're overmatched, they're in the game. Because that Game 6, when Clay was gone, they should have got smoked, bro. Like, they should have been smoked after that. And that game was still a fight. It was this close to going to get a Game 7. If it went to a Game 7, I honestly probably would have picked them. I probably would have done it. I'm just gonna be honest.
I'll say this much: if at least the Warriors or Grizzlies, whoever advances, does have a competitive series with Utah, or if my fantasy happens and the Warriors beat Utah, this is gonna really make a strong case for the play-in in the future. Like, you're gonna be like, oh snap! Like, these guys had to go through the elimination game to get here, and they beat the 1 seed. Like that. I can see that being I think about storylines kind of sometimes, and I'm like, I can see that being a storyline where like these guys. At the elimination game of the play-in, the 8th seed beat the 1 seed. Like, that shit was
the plan worked out better than anybody could have imagined because you got 2 teams who had no business being in the play-in. They drew like the biggest viewers since the conference finals 2 years ago. Like, what's going on? The NBA got hit with a blessing this year, dog.
Well, you saw Adam Silver said today they plan on bringing it back.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I think they can tweak it a little bit to make it more merit-based, but I think the setup is they got something there, especially in terms of viewership.
He said they're going to review it and may possibly make tweaks to it, but they have full intentions of keeping it.
Okay. Because I don't like 10 seeds having a chance to play for anything. You're wasting my time. You're a 10 seed. Spurs won 33 games this year. Go home. Why are you here? Speaking of that, y'all see big game DeMar DeRozan still doing big game DeMar DeRozan things, which means doing nothing.
Yeah, man. Hey, look, man. I love DeMar, but I don't want to see him in no more important situation.
I really don't, bro. It hurts me every time.
You know, he was
every time I see it makes me sad.
You know, he was 5-19 at one point. I'm like, oh my god,
bro. I saw that. I was like, DeMar, just once. I want you to do it, just one time, bro. Like, it's ridiculous, bud. It's really ridiculous. But so I want to do this. I want to do the award talk. I'm not saying that 9:30. I don't really care that much. Let's do this award talk real quick. Rookie of the year. I think my boy Anthony Edwards, the man I told Levi was going to be great. The man Levi hated during the season, but we let him onto the Anthony Edwards. We forgave him. We're about forgiveness over here, Anthony Edwards Incorporated. We're about forgiveness here. I let him on. We let him onto the boat. I think Anthony Edwards should win Rookie of the Year because LaMelo got hurt and missed a lot of time. I'm sorry. If Jokic's going to win MVP with Embiid getting hurt, I want my boy to get MVP too. I want Anthony Edwards to get Rookie of the Year.
The only difference is like the Rookie of the Year and MVP, like the team success, I'm gonna like factor it out a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Even though that actually would help Melo's case more than anything else.
Yeah.
But LaMelo individually, man, like I think of Anthony Edwards' usage rate, and I'm just like, you better score this much if you're taking this many shots, and he did so. But like, you know, I just see LaMelo doing more on the floor, especially somebody who wasn't even like, oh, he's not a built NBA body. Like this guy's an amazing passer. He's a rebounder.
He's just all weird. His shooting is what shot me the most because he had a weird shot. I'm like, that ain't gonna work. And then he came and hit my. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but but people that watch him like, nah, like his shot is weird. Okay, like he can shoot though. People tried to like tell everybody like, nah, he can shoot.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like this reminds me of the Luka and Trey thing where like Luka was good from jump and then Trey kind of got on late. I think it's kind of that with Anthony. Like Ant kind of picked it up second half of the season. Second half of the season, Ant is not first half of the season Ant. But so I think that kind of helps Ant. And I'm just kind of trying to make the case I love Anthony Edwards. He's hilarious. If you watch any of his interviews, he's one of the funniest people, like just naturally funny. And I hope they never PR him. If he gets PR, I'm gonna be so sad. But yeah, Levi.
Yeah, I might go with Ant just because with the injuries. I mean, I took Joel out of my personal running of MVP with his injuries. So yeah, take LaMelo out, leave it to Ant.
I'm good. And shout out Tyrese Halliburton for making the list too, because I mean he did his thing this year.
No, he was surprisingly good this year.
Oh, Q watches a lot of Kings ball. Talk about Halliburton.
Oh yeah.
No, Halliburton. He was a guy that people were surprised that even fell that far. And
right, I remember that.
You know, as much as I like watching the Kings, De'Aaron Fox is one of my guys. Halliburton was the reason why I made sure, okay, I really don't feel like watching the Kings tonight, but I want to see how Halliburton does. And like every time he was someone that impressed me. I didn't give my rookie, but Rookie of the Year is the best rookie of the season. It is not who will be the better player 3 or 4 years down the line. And LaMelo Ball will be the better player 3 or 4 years down the line, but he was hurt. And it's just right, even though I feel like it's not as egregious as should Zion Williamson win Rookie of the Year playing 20 games.
That was ridiculous.
Yeah, it's not as egregious as that. So I do think LaMelo could win it, and I wouldn't be upset. Mm-hmm. But I think with those things being considered, Anthony Edwards has been there, went through the trials and tribulations. He's improved, gotten better, is now showing some level of star potential. Again, it's best Rookie of the Year, and I think that Edwards should be getting it. But
I love this.
LaMelo's the argument against LaMelo isn't as strong as like, oh, Zion played 25 games.
Yeah,
like
that's fair. Yeah, if LaMelo wins, I won't be mad. I just want to make the case for Ant. I'm glad we're all making the case for Ant. Even though you said the Ant's not gonna be the better player in 3 to 4 years, so I disagree with. Ant's gonna be great. Ant's gonna be the best player in Minnesota. Ant's gonna be the best player in Minnesota. How about that?
You think he's gonna be better than LaMelo Ball in 4 years?
Yes, I do. Right. I'm gonna tell you why. I watched Anthony Edwards dribble through 4 people, like, and keep his dribble, and then kick it out because he's just so strong. He can get to the rack when he wants to. I love those dudes. You know, I'm a Russell Westbrook guy. You get to the rack when you want to. I'm all in. He does have a physical player.
He does have the dunk of the year though. I'm not gonna.
He does. He's super athletic. He's got the link. He's got the ability to be a great defender if he like can embrace. He has the ability to be an incredible defender at any point. His playmaking gets better. It's the sky's the limit for Ant, man. And you gotta remember, Ant hadn't been playing basketball his whole life. He's still relatively new compared to like other basketball players. He picked it up later, so he still got a lot of things he can learn. His mind is still. He seems very coachable. His mind is still open. His mind is an oyster. Is that what they say? Or the word is his oyster. You know what I'm saying? He's open. He's open minded. That's what I'm trying to say. So yeah, I think the sky's the limit for Ant. I think Ant's gonna be up there.
I'll give Ant this. I ain't never seen someone dunk and turn their opponent into a mechanical bull. So look, I'll give him that. That alone should give him Rookie of the Year.
Bro, my man dunked and knew he did it and was smiling and looking up immediately like, oh my, what did I just do? Let me see it again. So yeah. Most improved player. Are we all in agreement? Is Julius Randle?
I agree.
Okay.
Shouldn't be a conversation.
Yeah, I agree with that. Six man, Clarkson's gonna get that. Even though I would make a case for Derrick Rose because I feel like he's very important to them. I think six man should be more than just getting a bunch of points up. I think Derrick Rose's importance to the Knicks goes beyond just the buckets. Like that's a veteran leader they got.
Yeah,
and I thought it was a weird move at first, but it made a lot of sense. He made it make a lot of sense.
Yeah, it shouldn't be a hands down wash for Jordan Clarkson.
Yeah,
like Derrick Rose and his impact, just let alone this like just with the scoring, but then the presence that he offers to a really young team is something that is pretty significant. So I would still probably lean towards Jordan Clarkson, but I'd be shocked if Derrick Rose didn't get a couple of number one votes.
Yeah, France, how you feel about that?
Nah, playoff Clarkson, man. Shouts to Jordan Clarkson, man. He really embraced his role this year.
He did.
You know what I'm saying? So I got him over Rose.
Okay, Levi.
Let me be the homer and just throw out Bogdanovich in there, even though he had to step into the starting position many times this year because we were just so hurt, Titus. But yet somehow we still made it as the number 5 in the East. But yeah.
That front loaded schedule, that's how, and got healthy.
Yeah. And we got Nate McMillan, Nate Dogg, my boy.
Yeah. Playoff Nate's coming, boy. 301% in the playoffs.
Redemption and the vengeance.
Depoy, are we all team Ben Simmons for Depoy? We all team Ben Simmons?
Capella.
Oh my God. Yep. I almost kicked you off.
Ben Simmons, the campaign was real. And he like look, man. Nothing Ben Simmons has ever said was a lie. Everything that he said has been completely factual. I can guard 1 through 5. They ask me to do this every night. No one is a better defensive player in the league than me. Look, some people sometimes they drop a lot of points because we
it's the NBA. You're gonna get cooked, bro.
It's NBA. We're only catered to the offensive players now. That's how it is. But nah, man. Ben Simmons has been spitting nothing but facts for the past 3 seasons.
The Australian king.
Yes, sir. That's a fact.
I got nothing else to say, man.
MVP, we all say it's Jokic, but yes, I'm saying about my bad.
I mean, I would say don't be surprised if Rudy Gobert gets it.
He's probably going to get it, but
he should get votes. I don't think.
Yeah, he should get
votes for sure. But
I think the versatility in Ben's game just takes over the top for me. Like he's literally guarding everybody. But yeah, I think Rudy's probably going to get it. But I want Ben to get that.
Yeah, I don't have any strong opinions on it.
And I want to say shout out to Ben for being a young player and actually targeting Depoy. How many young players you out here talking about winning Depoy? Right? Ben's out here like, I'm trying to be Depoy, dog. Ben is doing what he's trying to do. Shout out to that too.
Also, like stuff like this is also like a preference thing. Like if you ask me if I'm building my own team, like would I rather have the rim protector that's decent or above average at pick and roll coverage, or would I rather have the guy that can guard 1 through 5 is 6'9" and 240?
Yeah.
You know, I'd rather have Ben, but you know, some people they still value that level of rim protection. But for me, I'm always gonna go with a guy like a Ben or a Giannis.
Yeah. MVP, I think we all agree that it's Jokic, but how high up do you think Curry? How do you think Curry should be or Embiid should be? Like, should it be a close race? Or should Jokic kind of run away with it?
Jokic should
run away with it.
I think Curry is fascinating. His career is fascinating because at the pinnacle of his successes, people always wanted to find holes to poke into his cases.
Right.
And this is the one time where people aren't doing that. And if Curry was getting unanimous MVPs and all that at that point in time, and here he is now where he's by himself for lack of a better term.
Yeah, obviously he's alone.
Yeah, and now people aren't sick of him because they're not sick of the Warriors' success. You know, people got sick of the Giannis success and all that kind of stuff. That it wouldn't shock me to see Curry make this a close race. I think that Embiid will be third.
Hugh, I want to stop you. While you just said Curry's name, he just hit a 40-footer.
Oh my God!
Dang.
I saw Ja was cooking, so that might be a close game later. But yeah, I think that this is the year where people stop trying to find holes to poke in Curry. And I think that that's going to make this race closer than maybe it should be. But at the same time, I'm an unabashed Curry supporter, always have been, always will be. So I won't be upset to see if he could potentially steal it. But Jokic should get this. Jokic is now taking the place as the disrespected top 5, top 10 player in the league. Yeah. And Nick Wright saying he'd be the worst MVP in the last 35 years.
Oh, did Nick say that?
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God.
Terrible.
Be doing those.
It's
the
like,
thing with Nick Wright, bro. Nick Wright can say things that sound really smart because he's a smart dude, right? But then sometimes when I hear him on TV, he goes over to like, why'd you go that far on TV, Nick? Yeah. Like, why?
Nikola Jokic went from 20 points, 18 points a game to being a legitimate top scorer in the league. The rebounding numbers are just as great. He's just as good of a passer. He's a really good defender. You can't even use the defender thing against him anymore. He's a legitimately good defender. That was just an insane narrative. But I get it because now Jokic is the one that's not the conventional great player.
Right.
And I think that because of that, Jokic could potentially get underrated. But I still think Jokic is going to get it.
Yeah, I agree. Levi?
Well, doesn't Nick Wright specialize in taking the lanes no one else is? I think that's pretty much how he's built his career, which is yeah. So it's a ridiculous lane that he took, but hey, nobody else was there, so he went there.
Sometimes lanes closed for a reason.
Yeah, I agree with Q in the fact that I think Curry's going to squeak out the second spot as well. I don't think it's going to be close. I think Jokic is going to run away with it, and he's the most deserving. I don't have any strong opinions on it other than that.
I just want y'all to know that if Joel Embiid finishes third, my 76ers, they disrespected us campaign is going to be on another level.
Yeah.
Don't let him and Ben not win these awards because, boy, I'm going to be insufferable. That
might be the best thing for them.
It really would be, though. It really would be. Like, the disrespect would be on another level, and they could sell that, and I'm here for it. I'm here to sell all the disrespect. But, yeah, I think Jokic should get it. I think Curry had a great run. I think Curry kind of had a Damian Lillard year this year, where you're on a really, really not good team. You're kind of carrying it with your running mate, but you kind of got to be the man every single night, and you struggle. But you get to the 8. You got to fight just to get to a lower seed. So it's kind of his Dame Lillard year, where people see what he can do when he's by himself. But I think he deserves his respect. I think his MVP consideration is legitimate and valid, but I don't think he should win it because at some point, I think even though it's not a team award, it is kind of a team success award.
Mm-hmm.
And I think being up half of the league and being the best player and putting up he averaged about 30 this year. Jokic averaged about 30 and 11 and 10 or something stupid, some ridiculous numbers this year. Yeah. So I think that and leading that team, keeping that team afloat when you lost your best player, I think that's got to come into play. He's going to get it. And I'm happy to see Sanders back in the race again. They said the center was dead, and the Sanders came back with a vengeance this year. So salute to the big man one time.
2021, you're the vengeance, man.
That's right.
We're gonna have Bud. We're gonna have
Bud and Nate both gonna win. Well, salute to y'all, man. This was dope. This was really dope. Everybody fit in really well. I'm glad it ran smoothly. We got a lot of good talking. Francis creeped back. I threw me off for a second. How you creep back in?
Yeah, how'd you? That's impressive. I don't know how you split up like that.
What is going on? Where this man come from? Yeah, that was fine. So salute to y'all, France. Appreciate you. Q, appreciate you. I reserve the right to do this for round 2. It was in your contracts, so we'll be talking again in round 2. Round 2 kicks off. Just want to let y'all know that. So be ready for that. Yeah, this will be out in the morning. I think the first game is at 2:00. I think it's Philly and Washington at 2:00.
I believe it's Milwaukee.
Oh, they're playing at 12? Oh, okay. I'm here for that too. That's even better.
The first game tomorrow is the toxic game. So we're gonna start the
day off with toxicity, baby. Get me the toxicness. Let's go. Get right to the nonsense. But yeah, Q, I'm are you gonna watch the Boston series at all? Are you gonna look at it?
I feel like I'm contractually obligated to. Because I don't want to miss the game where Tatum drops 82 points.
Right. Yeah.
So out of morbid curiosity, I'm going to make sure I watch most of those games.
Yeah. Heat Bucks at 2. Oh my God. Yeah, we got Heat Bucks and then Mavs Clippers. They got the schedule right this year.
Oh.
Heat Bucks right in the Mavs Clippers, and then Celtics Nets are the 8 o'clock game. And then
I'm mad that I have to wait I'm mad that I have to wait all the way till Sunday night to get the first Knicks
Ooh.
Hawks game.
Yeah, that's stressful. We in the playoffs. You want to get that game out the way when you got a team involved. Back when I used to be a fan of the NBA team, I used to understand that. You know what I'm saying? Blazers Nuggets is a 10:30 game. That's why I hate the West Coast. We got 10:30 starts. I mean, it sucks for y'all because y'all be having sleep. I work overnight, so I'll be up for it. But I just hate that. But yeah,
bro,
that's my excuse.
We got 4 playoff games tomorrow. Right. We got the semifinals, Ultimate Madness. We got some
yes,
UFC at night. You know what I'm saying? I'm just staying home tomorrow.
Go check out the MMA podcast with me and Q discuss the MMA fight tomorrow night between Cody Garbrandt and Rob Font. Shameless plug. So yeah, go look at all that. So yeah, all that's Saturday night. Sunday night is Wizards 76ers, Lakers Suns, Hawks Knicks, and Jazz versus whoever wins tonight. Okay, Wizards 76ers is at 1:00, so right after church. You know what I'm saying? Watch them get smoked. Watch my boy Ben and them take them out. Lakers Suns at 3:30. Woo! Hawks Knicks at 7. And then we got Jazz and whoever they play at 9:30. So yeah, a lot of good games coming up. It's gonna be a fun weekend. This might actually be a fun first round, which is not something that ever happens for real. I don't think the first round is that fun. It's like just let's get it over with. Outside of like one matchup, but I think it might actually be a pretty good first round this year. You know what I'm saying? I think it could be a good first round. Well, on that note, we appreciate all y'all for listening. Once again, thank you, France. Thank you, Q. Thank you, Levi. Appreciate all y'all. We are out of here. Anybody got any final thoughts before we say goodbye?
Yeah, Hawks all the way. Hawks 2021.
All the way to what?
All the way to the championship. We're winning it all. Ignorant Hawks fan checking in and staying.
Okay.
Beat the Knicks. Just beat the Knicks. All the night.
James Harden is going to choke in the conference finals.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We'll stop right there.